Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might be in this world. We would like to extend a very warm Jamaican welcome to you. On behalf of the Jamaican Diaspora en France and Integrated Diaspora Services. Before we go any further, we will ask the evening's blessing by Chrisanne Blake.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this wonderful occasion that we're having this afternoon. Lord, we thank you for all the panelists who have joined us today and are about to share, information that will be of benefit to our fellow diasporans. Lord God, I pray that everything will go smoothly and that there will be a special blessing on today's event. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Chrisanne. At this time, I would love to introduce someone to you, someone who, oh my God, has my utmost respect. Dr. Peter George Smith, who is the Vice President of the Jamaican Diaspora en France, as he opens the gate this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is, in whatever zone you are. Please, everyone, welcome into your home and into your hearts or your offices, Dr. Peter George Smith.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. And a hearty Jamaican welcome to all of my fellow diasporans, including representatives of our sister Jamaican diaspora agencies, to our webinar. The Jamaican Diaspora en France, affectionately known as JaDiF, in conjunction with Integrated Diaspora Services, IDS, is pleased to be bringing you this virtual information session on how to handle some matters of importance back home in Jamaica. A special welcome to the folk from the Registrar General's Department, the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, the National Housing Trust, and the Embassy of Jamaica in Brussels. They will be sharing some great information and fielding your questions about their services. JaDiF is a French not-for-profit Jamaican diaspora organization that was officially formed by a small group of Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica living in France towards the end of 2019. So in summary, the objectives of JaDiF are: one, networking, to build connections within the Jamaican diaspora in France and elsewhere with other groups for the formation and utilization of mutual support structures relating to personal, professional, and entrepreneurial development. Alliances, to form links with governmental and non-governmental agencies, civil society, and the private sector, both in France and in Jamaica, to leverage their programs to advance the welfare of the Jamaican diaspora in France. Capacity building, to assist Jamaicans in France to realize their full potential through various JaDiF designed programs with a primary focus on skills and knowledge development. Resource identification, to assist in the identification of resources that members of the Jamaican diaspora in France may need to access for various purposes, including housing, healthcare, obtaining statutory documents, etc. So this webinar is organized primarily in fulfillment of the last mentioned objective. Being physically away from the country, it is not always easy to get things done there. To get going though, and to smoothen the way, it is important to start with the right information, straight from the horse's mouth, as we say. Therefore, in addition to engaging with the agencies represented in this webinar, again, they are PICA, RGD, and NHD, you will be hearing from our embassy in Brussels and IDS shortly about their facilitating or their facilitation services, right? So Let us have a fruitful session, everyone, and welcome again. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Smith. We thank you so much for, opening the gates and letting the gates open for things to come from the horse's mouth, actually. I just want to extend a very warm welcome again if you're just joining us. And I'm going to ask you to allow today to be an interactive, fun session, informative, but fun. So as you pop online, I'm going to be asking you to put the flag for the country where you are, or put your name, put something, say hello, just feel free to be active in the group. We're not very stiff, we want to feel good as we do business. And we know that everybody, wherever you might be, you want to do something back on the rock. So out of that desire, out of that need, the next person I introduce to you saw it fit to co-find this group, Integrated Diaspora Services, where they will connect us, as we say today, connecting the bridges, this collaborative effort between the Jamaican diaspora in France and the Integrated Diaspora Services. We're saying it doesn't matter where you are, we will help you to get things done. So without further ado, please help me to introduce to you Ms. Nordia Teep, who will introduce the panelists. She will also tell us a little bit more or a lot more about the services of the Integrated Diaspora Services. So everyone, please put your hands together, as they would say in Jamaica, and welcome Ms. Nordia Teep.
Thank you, beautiful Renee. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone, wherever you are across the world. You're a Jamaican diaspora, big up yourself. Welcome to this moment. It's a proud moment for all of us, and we thank God for it. Now, in June 2020, the Vision Integrated Diaspora Services Limited was birthed from the hearts of two Jamaicans with a deep desire to serve their people and their country. As a service broker, IDS partners with competent suppliers to provide a one-stop shop solution, primarily for Jamaicans overseas or foreigners who desire to do business in Jamaica, especially when they're not physically able to be here to do so. Endorsed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the services of IDS are covered on the acronym CARE, C-A-R-E. C represents our compassion.
I think she inadvertently put herself on mute.
I don't know where I lost you guys. But let me start from right here. Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me?
We can hear you, but
Yes,
we
we can hear you
define
now.
care.
CARE. Thank you. All right, let's go back to CARE. Endorsed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the services of IDS are covered on the acronym CARE. C represents our compassion and wellness services, which covers elderly and debt services. A represents our approvals and legal services, such as assistance with governmental transactions, like getting your tax registration number or your TRN, birth certificates, legal matters such as land or title matters, to criminal or litigation, among others. R represents our resource training and education services, catering to the needs of Jamaicans who desire to access scholarships and funding to work and study at over 150 universities across the world. Finally, E represents our economic and property services, which covers shipping, logistics and transportation, community tourism, branding and marketing, as well as all property-related services, which would include long-term to short-term rental, buying or selling of property, along with property management services. Our aim is to contribute to the development of our country, Jamaica, through the empowerment and engagement of our people across the world, providing solutions that bring their heart home. Feel free to visit our website at www.diasporasolutions.com. info@integrated-diaspora-services.com, or you can send us an email at integrated-diaspora-services@gmail.com, or call us or WhatsApp us at 876-852-7716. But today, we're really elated to have here with us, government persons representing various government entities, right, to share with us. We have Mr. Andrew Wynter, CEO of the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency. I think there's an icon on the Zoom that you can clap, right? So we're going to give him a resounding applause, right? So the CEO, Sir Andrew Wynter, is here with us. Then we have from the Registrar General Department, we have Miss Nicole Whyte, Marketing and Planning Manager, and Desmond Davis, Production Manager. Woo! Right, and of course, our lovely National Housing Trust representative, Natalie Fowler, Communication Coordinator from the Corporate Communication and Marketing Department. And it is their day to bring your heart home as you get involved and salute and celebrate brand Jamaica.
Are you still there, Nordio?
I'm here.
You're there. So I
Yes.
believe at this time, we will be hearing from Mr. Wynter from PICA. We're so privileged, having been so acquainted with so many persons overseas who would try to send a money, as we would say, to somebody to get something done, and they do it at their own leisure. Or, they send a money to get some construction done. It's never done. You're living abroad, but you still want your passport. When you're coming to Jamaica and you land in Jamaica, you want to go to the CARICOM line. You want to, check in right there. So we're so privileged to have you online today with us to educate, to inform, for those who have lost hope, especially in this time, not being able to physically visit some places. I would like to extend a very, very warm welcome to Mr. Wynter at this time, who will do his presentation. Please open your hearts and make him welcome.
It's good afternoon, everyone from Jamaica, but I think it's good evening to our Jamaican diaspora persons in Europe. Thank you for inviting me to share today. I'm joined today by Mrs. Deli Vassell, our Director of Customer Service, who will also be discussing with you some of the things that we will be doing for what the agency is doing for the diaspora all over the world. In fact, this isn't most interesting because just yesterday, we participated in a similar presentation for the Jamaicans who live in the UK. If the host could permit us, we'd just like to share a quick presentation.
Absolutely.
It's still disabled. Could you just enable it? Are you seeing my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency is really delighted to be sharing with all the Jamaicans all over the world. We know you have a lot of challenges. And just for some of you who've been away from Jamaica for a very long time, we were established in 2007. We're there to protect and regulate Jamaica's borders and to also provide services as it relates to citizenship, passport, and immigration services, as well as our own investigation to secure our borders. Right? Our mission today and going forward is really to develop new ways of working to satisfy you, our customers, and to seek out new opportunities, because there are many opportunities there for the agency to better serve our Jamaicans overseas and not just locally, and to improve the security of the country's borders. Right? So for the last few years, we have really been focusing on enhanced travel facilitation through the installation of more automated border crossing kiosks. So we're automating our immigration processes at the airport. We have enhanced our service delivery via customer engagement, and we have become more efficient with our business processes to enhance revenue generation and to implement more updated legislation for our passport, citizenship, and immigration laws, and to enhance our presence out there in terms of marketing and public relation, and even advocating public policy that will better support the diaspora needs. So a couple of the things that we have been doing for the last 2 to 3 years is we have introduced our online passport renewal system. We have introduced courier services, which can take the passport directly back to the customers wherever you are in the world. We have introduced a drop box at our head office location here in Kingston. That makes it easier for turnaround. And we have upgraded our outstation. This is for the Jamaicans. And we have conducted a business process review for our citizenship to enable it to be more faster, more efficient. And in fact, by the end of this financial year, we should see the automation of the citizenship process. And we have restructured our customer service operation so that we are better able to serve our customers and provide a better experience for the customers. And also we have implemented a call center to provide better customer support to the requests that come in. Okay. So PICA over the next 5 years intends to redesign its business model to be one that is strategically aligned to our national sustainable goals. It intends to model to be more customer-centric and fit for purpose, and one PICA to effectively contribute to the Jamaican society, and enhance service delivery by our efficient business processes and facilitation. So these are some photos showing how we are moving.
I'm sorry about that. We're just going to ask.
One of the things I'd like to share with you today, however, I know for Europeans, a lot of the Jamaicans in Europe are unable to accept dual citizenship, their spouses. So some of persons who want to retire and return home, we have what we call permanent residency, which is a product and service that we can offer to your spouses over there. The other thing that for the Jamaicans, we can probably provide some of you with unconditional landing as well. So that will also assist. For the permanent residency, the applications fall in one of 3 categories, which is employment, retirement, marriage, or dependent. So your children who are persons who are dependent on you will certainly be able to obtain this permanent residency because we know that they cannot handle dual citizenship. So this is our short presentation that we wanted to share with you today. And we will take any questions that you may wish to ask us right now. Thank you.
We thank you so much, Mr. Wynter, and this is really comforting to know at this time. And I must say that I'm really impressed with the improvements, you know, the kiosks and everything at the airport. Once I land, it's a quick breeze and I'm out of there. I've really seen a lot of improvement over the years, and I must commend you and your team for the hard work that you do, extending the services while still protecting our borders, especially at this time. You know, I really want to thank you. So if there's anyone online with questions, Nardi, I believe you've had some questions prior. We would like to address them at this moment. This is a perfect opportunity to ask what you must, you know, about steps. If you've been away, if your passport is expired and you're overseas, what do you do? Is it PICA? Is it the embassy? Is it both? You know, let the questions roll in. They're equipped and able.
I would like to say something, if I could make a comment. Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, yeah, my name is Christopher, I'm from Belgium. I applied for my Jamaican passport a few years ago through the Belgium embassy. And basically, I want to thank everyone for the very easy process that I went through in gaining my passport. I was able to apply for it through that my parents were Jamaican, and I was pleasantly surprised how quickly everything went. So thanks to the Belgian embassy, and thank you for PICA for arranging that for me, so that when I land in Jamaica, I can go to the Caribbean line. I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. You're most welcome.
You're most welcome. There's a question. The children are born in France. Can they obtain Jamaican passports?
They have to first become Jamaican citizens. And I do not know if France allows for dual citizenship, especially out of non-Francophone territories. I know if you are born in Martinique or Guadeloupe, you can become citizens of France, but I'm not sure. So this is why we recommend for those children, permanent residency, because I think in France, if they don't allow it, they would have to renounce their French citizenship, or we'd have to understand what are the nationality requirements of France.
Okay.
Can I ask a question as well?
There are
Go
300 too. When you're finished.
Let me.
I'm going to ask that you type. Hello. I'm going to ask that you type the questions in the comment section, and we will address them. We have a set time for question and answers, and we will do our best to answer them within the allotted time. However, please note that even after this session ends, IDS will be available to answer these and more questions, because this is not a one-off event. This is a continuous relationship that you're establishing here today. So if your questions aren't answered today, there will be a lot of time, ample amount of time for that to be done once you've established your information in our comment section for future communication. So I'm going to ask that you type the questions quickly, and we will address as many of them as we can. Thank you.
And I'd like to also include that we have our Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms, which if you want to put questions there, we'll be prepared to answer them as well. Right? And we have our customer contact center, which you can submit your questions online to us.
Okay, so there's another question. If a passport was lost over 15 years ago, but not reported lost then, what is the best procedure now to have it issued? Would it still have to be reported to the police? If so, where? Would it involve a completely new application process, or a reissue or a renewal process? And how long would it take?
That's a very long question. All right, actually the process is not very, if you have lost your passport over 15 years ago, we just ask you to complete a new passport application along with your birth certificate. And if you're married, your marriage certificate, because we would treat that application as a new one. In addition to the application, we'd ask you to write a letter or affidavit advising us as to what are the circumstances in which your passport was lost. Because persons, you know, you migrated to England or to France, you're now living in Germany, you have moved several times. And somewhere in the process, you have misplaced your passport. So to support that application, we would like a report from you, a letter from you, outlining the circumstances. Then next, you just complete the passport application form with 2 pictures, your marriage certificate and your birth certificate, and your identification, and indicate on the form that you had a Jamaican passport and you could not find it. And then submit the application. That one, however, please note, cannot be submitted online. It would have to be submitted through honorary consuls or one of the Jamaican embassies or consulates.
Okay, amazing. Our numbers are growing and there are many questions online today. Jamaicans who get citizenship with a European country often cannot have dual citizenship. Can we have permanent residence without employment in Jamaica and before retirement? What is required to do so?
Well, you can actually go on our website and it will outline what are the requirements for permanent residency. We have permanent residency on the basis of retirement. So persons have retired and you apply for permanent residency on the basis of retirement, and you can apply straight. Those who would love to work here normally have to be here for at least 3 years to apply for permanent residency. As a descendant of a Jamaican or a child of a Jamaican or the spouse of a Jamaican, you can apply for permanent residency as well. And that would be how you achieve that immigration benefit from us.
Can I say something, please?
Sure.
Ms. Gail?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good whatever. Okay. I'm having a problem with PICA. I did the online application the 31st of March. Ever since, I have been having a load of problems. Like, first, I got an email to say that the photo was slightly orange, which, okay, I sent an email and I attached 2 photos. Plus, I called and the person on the phone told me that I need to send the photos and my signature, etc., to the embassy or to a friend or family member to the embassy. I did so. When I sent it to a friend, my friend took it there to the place. When he took it there, I was waiting. I got no news. After 2 weeks, he took it there. I think it was on the 12th of April. I got no news. So after I called several times, almost every day, and they said they can't find the photos, they can't find the papers, they can't find nothing. Then, ever since, I have no idea what is going on. I tried to call on Monday and I still can't get an answer. So I don't know what is going on with my passport.
All right, well, Mrs. Deli is here, the Director of Customer Service. So she will collect your information. If you could just, Renee Foster, if you can send us something in the personal chat, we will take the relevant information and we will track it down. And if you can put your email for us, we will respond to you shortly.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry that
Absolutely.
you have encountered those issues, but we will try our best to resolve them as quickly as possible.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. This is such a wonderful occasion. And, you know, back in the days, I'm sure we could say it was so difficult to speak to persons at very high level in some of these institutions. It was actually never heard of. So today, I believe it's groundbreaking. This is a momentous occasion where we can address our questions and really have things resolved in a very, very short time. There's another question that I have here. It says, what's the process for applying for Jamaican citizenship for children born in the UK? Specifically, what documents are required?
All right, for children born in the UK for Jamaican parents, you need your parents' birth certificate. You need the child's birth certificate, 2 passport size photographs. If the child has a passport already or some identification document, certainly those. And then you would just take those documents into the Jamaican High Commission in London and submit the application for citizenship by descent. You can also go on our website, which would then advise you as to what are exactly all the documents that you need. One of the things that I would suggest is please check the spelling of the names. Many times this is sometimes what creates the name, the issue. For example, in England might spell Molly, M-O-L-L-Y, or they might spell Delhi, D-E-L-L-Y, but we in Jamaica spell it D-E-L-L-I-E. Or because of, in the original birth certificate from Jamaica, it has an IE instead of a Y, but when the person is registered in the birth, the English spell it with a Y. So these are sometimes the little nuances which delay the process. So I advise person to pay attention to those things, and to, if necessary, we do have our declaration forms to address those concerns which might arise from time to time, so we can do the necessary amendment and complete the process. And Nokia 2.4 has a question. She has her hand up for some time.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I saw Nokia 2.4, but I'm asking them to kindly type their questions in the comment section. In that way, we keep a very tight control of, just the communication. I have another question for you. I applied to renew my passport last October, and there was a problem with the photo uploaded, and the error could only be corrected by sending a hard copy by courier. Would the PICA consider updating the online system for the photos to be re-uploaded? That's the question.
Thank you for that. That is something that we are considering now. We're also going to be reviewing the operations of the site to allow photos to be taken in a number of formats. Normally, the JPEG format, but what we have found is some persons actually take pictures of pictures and submit those, and those sometimes create issues for the processing on the online facility. So we will take this into consideration, and certainly if it can be something that be accommodated, we'll let you know.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. I believe this winds down the end of this segment. However, if you look in the chat, you will see that IDS has forwarded the link for their communications, because they will now be the direct link between you and PICA, between you and the other presenters we have to come today. All right, so we ask that any further questions, please establish your contact in the comments in the chat, and there will be definitely a follow-up. At this time, I'd like to thank you again, Mr. Wynter, and your team for this able manner in which you conducted today's operation. It felt so easy to talk to you. It was so friendly. One time, to approach a government agency, you literally have to button up your collar and you feel stiff and afraid, but it was such a pleasant experience today. And we want to thank you so much for opening your doors via this virtual means to assist Jamaicans at home and abroad. And as we say, we're building a bridge. There are so many persons broken off and disconnected, and we have started the process. IDS and JaDiF, we've started the process to build this bridge to bring persons back home. All right, at this time, Ms. Northern Teep we will have a presentation from IDS. So we ask you, as you come on, once again, mute your microphones, open your hearts, open your ears.
Jamaica, land we love, full of so many beautiful places, memories, people, so rich in culture, resources, and opportunities that it is more than enough to want to bring the heart back home. So many of us have left our homeland seeking new opportunities and exploration of the world. And now, many of us in the diaspora are trying to find ways to show our love for our homeland and those we left behind. It is this unfulfilled need of the Jamaican diaspora that has inspired the creation of our company, Integrated Diaspora Services Limited. We help bridge the gap between what is and what could be for many Jamaicans living and working abroad. We provide access to the knowledge and support they need to conduct business transactions in Jamaica from anywhere in the world. Our vision is to bring the hearts back home for the betterment of our homeland, Jamaica. Through our worldwide service providers and partnerships, we provide care services that are designed to meet the many needs of the diaspora, spanning from their commercial and regulatory needs to the very personal and intimate needs of their families back home. That is why
United States chooses IDS.
Ni hao, Jungo chinza IDS.
United Kingdom chooses IDS.
The Caribbean chooses IDS.
Kazakhstan, IDS, Tanzania. Afrika inachagua mawazo ili kuleta uzalendo.
Kenya inachagua IDS.
Canada chooses IDS.
Because it brings our hearts home.
let us help you bring your heart back home to Jamaica in the ways that matter most, both to you and your loved ones.
Heart back home to the things I know, to the place I know. Heart back.
Wow, that was absolutely beautiful. And I know so many of us overseas, our hearts are really back home in Jamaica. And this is our way of helping you to bring your heart back home. A little piece of the rock, even your birth paper, your passport, just some connection, your TRN. I've had conversations with persons in the UK and all they want is, I just want my TRN. I just want my TRN. So we're happy to be here in Jamaica today and all over the world extending this type of service to you. Okay, so Jamaicans are planted all over the world, I'm sure you know. And because we're found in every nook and cranny, there has to be an embassy of Jamaica in every nook and cranny. Now, prepare yourselves for an address from the Consul of the Embassy of Jamaica in Brussels, Monsieur Gerard Smith. We welcome you.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. And also for the French pronunciation of my name, greatly appreciated. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to my fellow panelists. On behalf of Her Excellency Simone Beton-Nayu, Ambassador of Jamaica to Belgium, and my colleagues here at the Embassy, I'm pleased to take this opportunity today to speak briefly on the work of the Embassy, particularly with respect to consular matters. As I am sure many of you know, the Embassy of Jamaica in Brussels has several responsibilities. We are the Embassy of Jamaica to Belgium and the mission to the European Union, but we also represent Jamaica within several international organizations, including the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, better known as UNESCO, the International Court of Justice, the World Tourism Organization, the Community of Latin American and Caribbean Countries, and the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, among others. We are also concurrently have responsibility for Portugal, Luxembourg, Monaco, Spain, the Netherlands, and yes, France. The latter three countries have the most active number of Jamaicans and foreign nationals who may seek consular assistance from time to time. As it relates to consular matters, the requests that we regularly receive from Jamaicans relate to passport services, which Mr. Wynter spoke on a bit earlier, legalization or certification requests, citizenship requests, and of course, registration with the embassy. We are in constant communication with PICA on passport and citizenship related matters as we seek to assist nationals with their requests. One of the more recent developments introduced by PICA, and Mr. Wynter touched on this, has been the online passport services for the renewal of adult machine readable passports. I believe somebody had asked in the chat whether this could be used for some other passports. Mr. Wynter mentioned that if you have a lost passport, this service wouldn't be possible for you. The same if your passport is damaged, you wouldn't be able to use this, this method, or if it's your first adult passport, you wouldn't be able to use this method. The embassy does, however, encourage nationals to make use of this service once they qualify, as it reduces the number of steps required to reapply. And we've also heard from Mr. Wynter that they are continually updating it. So that's, of course, very good. All other applicants can make use of the traditional methods. So making contact with the embassy, sending us an email, and we can provide you with all the steps necessary for where you are located. On the matter of legalization, we anticipate that the process for legalizing some documents will become easier within a few months when Jamaica officially becomes a member of the Apostille Convention. Currently, oftentimes those living in France, for instance, would be required to have Jamaica's foreign ministry legalize a document, followed by the French embassy in Jamaica, then by the Embassy of Jamaica in Brussels before it can be used in France. It is anticipated that this process will have fewer steps once Jamaica becomes a member of the convention. And of course, once we get more information, we will ensure to share it with the community. For those living in the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, or even here in Belgium in Antwerp, you may not have to make the trek to the embassy to get certain business done, as we have honorary consuls in these territories. More specifically, the government of Jamaica has honorary consuls within Amsterdam, Antwerp, Madrid, Barcelona, and Lisbon. There is no honorary consul in France at the moment, but due to the large Jamaican community there, it remains a top priority for us to have one appointed as soon as possible. Finally, I would like to touch on another matter of importance, which is that of registering with the mission. While this is an activity we regularly encourage of our nationals who travel overseas, we particularly saw its importance last year during the initial days, weeks, and months of the pandemic. It allowed us to keep our nationals up to date and informed of the latest news from the Jamaican government on the re-entry protocols, and more importantly, gave us the tools necessary to arrange the repatriation flight for those who are stranded at a very difficult time. We continue to encourage people to register with the embassy so that we can reach you not only in times of emergency, but also to facilitate our engagement with you. And hopefully once things have improved, to invite you in person to meet with our new ambassador, while also, of course, enjoying a little taste of home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monsieur Gerard Smith. You know, Jamaicans love to run up and down, is what we would say. When trouble take you, you run up and down. Lord, with the embassy, Jesus. So don't wait until there's trouble. And then when the trouble take you, quickly shut can't fit you, right? I have to be speaking Jamaican in proper English because I know not everyone speaks the dialect online. But let us be prepared and ready. So you have a responsibility to find the embassy where you are. There's an embassy in every nook and cranny. Find your embassy and register before trouble take you. We know there will be no trouble, you know. but sort yourself out early. All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Gerard Smith. I'm going to ask again that you remember to register with your embassy in the city, in the country where you are, and also to drop your email in the chat if you have further burning questions, if you want to be contacted, if you have things you want to get done in Jamaica and you just need help to get it done. And then when you finish, you can say, your cousin or your niece or your nephew can say, look how she treat me after me run up and down and get her birth paper, right? So you will have this independence and this freedom, knowing that you got it done and you still have a piece of the rock with you, all right? No, the next thing I can tell you, because my mother lives in the UK, and the biggest thing in my mother's heart from ever since was, all I want is to own a little piece of Jamaica. And then when she bought the place here, I just want to finish the mortgage. You know how Jamaicans are. We just want to say we own a house. We want to say we belong somewhere. Because in most places, they will tell us, you're on here, you're not born here. So we try to establish our own little piece back home. And so there might be some of you who worked in Jamaica prior to going overseas to live. You probably had your points. You probably don't have any. You probably have descendants or dependents in Jamaica who would probably want to use your points, you know, to establish this generational thing is a big thing, you know, because you really leave an inheritance for your children's children. And so who else to help us to achieve that today than the marketing, well, I think she's corporate, I'm sorry, communications and marketing. Oh, Natalie Fowler from the National Housing Trust is here with us online today. And she's going to give us the roadmap, the know-how. So after you get your passport, after you get your birth paper, after you register at the embassy, and you're ready to get the piece of land and ready to build the house, you just make a little trek down to NHT. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome Natalie Fowler.
Is she on?
Well, you know, as Jamaicans, we're always prepared for everything. So in the meantime, in between time, we will have a rendition from Mr. Michael Harris. Those of you who don't know him, you're going to know him today. He's going to touch your heart in a place you never imagined could be touched. He's really going to put the icing on it and bring your hearts back home to Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, selector, pull up, tune, music, Mr. Harris.
Good evening, I'm Michael Sean Harris. Well, I'm really happy to be here to help bring the heart home.
There's a calm surrender to the rush of day, when the heat of a rolling wave can be turned away. An enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we've got this far. And for everyone. If they only learn that the twisting kaleidoscope moves in slow and turn. There's a rhyme and reason to the world outdoors. When the heart of this star-crossed Voyager leaves some time with yours, with yours. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we've got this far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best.
Wasn't that absolutely beautiful? I just felt like I took a step into the Lion King scene just a while ago. I understand that there was some problems at the border just now. Apparently PICA held on to Miss Natalie Fowler, but she's free now. She cleared security and she's ready to present to us. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, please welcome from the Corporate Communications Department at the National Housing Trust, Miss Natalie Fowler.
Thank you very much for that very boasty introduction. So I am sorry to have been held up, but I am available now. And can I tell you, it has been a bumpy ride because I had my times mixed up. So I would like to share my screen, if you can allow me to.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Right, one moment. I am trying to share the document. Trying to share the document will not come up. So let me just proceed though. What I want to talk about is based on what we would entitle it, Home Awaits You. And at the National Housing Trust, we wholeheartedly believe it. And anytime we get the opportunity to share with the Jamaicans who are overseas, we should spread that message that while you are away, because we know that persons, they're away, but Jamaica is in their hearts. So home awaits you right here in Jamaica, and the NHD is willing and ready to assist you. So the National Housing Trust, I would like to tell you a little bit about the NHT, and I would start with the vision of the NHT, who we are. The NHT is set up on basically achieving this vision. We will be ranked among the leading housing finance institutions in the world, renowned for customer service and contribution to national development. And our mission, it's improving the quality of life of Jamaicans by facilitating home ownership and community development, particularly among lower income earners. The NHT was established in 1976, and that has been its mantra ever since, particularly concerned about housing and improving the housing stock of Jamaica. And we know that there are Jamaicans here, of course, that is, we are intent on improving the housing stock right across the island, benefiting Jamaicans who are NHT contributors. And we know that there are Jamaicans in the diaspora who their dream too is to own a piece of the rock. So since 1979, we have been adding to the existing supply of housing. We enhance the usefulness of the NHT funds by providing and promoting greater efficiency in the housing sector. And we provide financial assistance to contributors who wish to buy, build, or improve their house. So I imagine there are in this audience persons who have residency legal status to live and work wherever you are in the world, whether it is in France, Luxembourg, Germany, wherever. And for such persons who have that kind of legal status, NHT has a system by which those individuals can register and contribute voluntarily. And this is available to individuals who are at age 18 up to age 70, actually. And so anybody who is not living in Jamaica, who has legal residency elsewhere, can contribute to NHT as a voluntary contributor. By voluntary contributor, I mean you, by virtue of where you live and the taxes you already pay where you live, you are not bound to contribute to NHT. So when you do contribute to NHT, it's a voluntary option for you, and you choose to do so. And the NHT does have a process to enable that. There are persons, perhaps even amongst this audience, who are not legal residents. Maybe you're a student, you don't have like a residence card, you don't have the passport, you're not a national of that country. You can still contribute to the NHT. And that requires a different kind of process from the voluntary contributor, but it is possible. So if you've previously contributed to the NHT, and even though you have ceased contributing to the NHT due to migration, and you've never contributed, you may apply to contribute to the NHT. And I want to point out that the NHT contributions, it is not a tax, it is a contribution. And so because of that, NHT contributions are refundable. Each year that you contribute to the National Housing Trust, we hold those contributions for 7 years. And in the 8th year, you can be refunded of those contributions. So by virtue of that policy, NHT is refunding contributions to contributors made in 2013 and before. So what I would like to explain to persons is that NHT contributions is a form of savings. Just the way you save in your bank account, is you can treat and consider NHT to be that. Registering as a voluntary contributor is easy. Yeah, so let me tell you some things about registering. You must be a Jamaican living overseas, whether you're a permanent resident or you're a citizen. We have a voluntary Contributors Application Form. It is on the NHD website at www.nhd.gov.jm. And once you get there, you can go to Documents and Forms. I believe my colleague, Kamisha Samuel Smith, who is also in the audience, she will be sending a message that will tell you the website and even send you a link that will directly take you to the voluntary contributor application form. And when you see that voluntary contributor application form, on it, you will see a list of documents that are also required, not just completing and submitting that form, but there are some other documents that must be notarized if it is that you're submitting copies of those forms. And those forms include your Jamaican tax registration card. Your TRN is on that card, and we would want a copy of that. And if it is that you are not able to come physically to Jamaica to do the registration, you can have that card copied and notarized. Another document that you will also see on that form that is required is your Jamaican National Insurance Scheme number, which is perhaps you're familiar with the pink card with 6 digits, and it starts with a letter. That's your NIS. And we would like a copy of that NIS card. Also, a copy of your valid photo ID. And whether it is your passport or your driver's license, your national identification card, we need that. And that can also be copied. And once it's copied, it should be notarized. We need, as a voluntary contributor, proof of your overseas residency status. So that's your permanent residency card, indefinite card, passport for the country where you are now a resident and a citizen. And proof of age, your birth certificate, passport, or driver's license. That's also. So all these copied, notarized, sent to Jamaica, and I will give you the address to send it to at National Housing Trust, 4 Park Boulevard, Kingston 5. And I've tested the process. It works. Once you submit those documents, an email will follow telling you, thank you very much for submitting your documents, and we're looking into your registration. And if there are other documents, somehow there's something that you missed, we'll tell you what is outstanding, and you send it to us. And myself, Natalie Fowler, and my colleague, Kamisha Samuel Smith, as I said, she's also in the audience. You can always reach out to us. We will assist you with anything that you need. And we make it easy for you to make those voluntary contributions from anywhere in the world. You can go onto the National Housing Trust website at www.nhd.gov.jm, and you can sign up to NHD online, or NHD has a mobile app. I encourage you to download that mobile app. If so far you have contributed to NHD and you would like to know what your status is, when you last contributed, how much contributions it was, I encourage you to download the NHD mobile app. It's pretty handy. And if you want to apply for your contribution refund, you can use the mobile app to apply for it. If you want to make your payment, you can do so through the mobile app or through NHD online. I want to point out that, for everything there are deadlines, and your voluntary contribution payments do have deadlines as well. So we'd encourage you, just take note of this one. Each contribution each month that is due for payment, you say, for example, you are supposed to pay in May, you actually have some grace period until the 14th of June to make the payment. So your monthly payments are due on the 14th working day of the following month. And your payment, your voluntary contributions payment is really 3% of your declared income. When you download the voluntary contribution application form, you will see that it asks for you to declare your income. Whatever income you declare, we require as your monthly contribution 3% of that declared income. The benefits, there are benefits. So very sorry. I've already pointed out, very sorry about that. I've already pointed out that the NHD contributions is a form of savings. It is not a tax. It's not something that will go in the consolidated fund and you don't know what it's taking care of. Of course, it will be taking care of things of the state, but your contributions are something that directly benefits you. It's something that goes directly to a contributions account that is created here for you. When you're ready for it to be refunded, it goes directly to you. And so the other benefits, the housing benefit, right now, NHD lends a maximum of $6.5 million to individuals who want to buy a house. And also to individuals who want to build a house, because maybe you own property and we lend you money to also build on that property. So you can get up to $6.5 million to do that. If you want to buy a piece of land, NHD will lend you $2.5 million to buy that piece of land. And the rest of the money, up to $6.5 million, you get to do construction. So that's, at the end of it, $6.5 million is what you will get. And the great benefit about paying your NHD contribution is that when you do borrow, you borrow at cheap interest rates. NHD's highest interest rate right now is, I believe, Kamisha, back me up. I believe it's 4%. It's
4% is the highest. 4% is the highest. The lowest is 0 to 4%.
The lowest is 0%. Right. Thank you. And two persons can actually co-apply, and that they can apply for the loan together. And once you do so, it's $30 million combined. If it is that you're buying land, then it's 2.5 million. It's $5 million combined. So two persons combined together with a $5 million loan, you can use that to purchase that. How do you qualify? Once you are contributing as a voluntary contributor, and it's your first time contributing, we would want you to contribute for at least 2 years before you become eligible for a loan. And if you have previous contributions for at least 1 year, then you will be required to contribute for at least 1 more year before you become eligible for a loan. And very importantly, contributions must be made on time. You don't want to be late, because if you're late, that can set your eligibility qualifying for the loan. So the payment is due, this month's payment is due the 14th of the next month. You want to make sure that you pay by the 14th of the next month. So to make sure that you pay by the 14th of the next month, May's payment is due, you just pay in May. June's payment is due, you just pay in June. Don't even bother think about the grace period.
Or prepay so that you do not forget.
That's right, you can prepay. So I want to encourage you, because that is very important, because it impacts your qualification. You have up to age 70 to repay the loan. So our 20-something years old and you know, our youngsters, if you have up to age 70 or up to 40 years to repay the loan. So for the persons who are not yet 30 or who have just reached 30, you would get 40 years to repay your loan. And as your years go by, then you would have less years to repay, but you have up to age 70 to repay the loan. So just some pointers, there are many ways to reach that goal, owning a piece of the rock. And one of the interesting programs that the NHD has, and I see it working well for persons who live in the diaspora and want to return home, is cluster housing. And you can write that down just to remind yourself. And if I don't give you enough information, which I may not have enough time to, because I'm sure my time is limited, and you can go on NHD's website and check out cluster housing. Cluster housing is a program that allows a minimum of 3 persons and up to 18 persons to join together to buy a big parcel of land. That land should be subdividable. And once it is subdividable, you all can buy it together. You get the NHD loan at your $2.5 million loan limit to purchase land. And there is also funds that can be set aside to do the infrastructural development, including the subdivision, putting in roads, putting in water, stuff like that. And so what that policy allows is for you to build your own community right here in Jamaica.
Natalie, just want to interject since you're on that point, that in a cluster facility, it's a minimum of 3 lots that the property can be subdivided into and a maximum of 9 lots. But for each lot that is being purchased, 2 persons can co-apply, which is why you have a maximum of 18 persons who can access a benefit in the cluster. So it's minimum 3 lots, maximum 9 lots that the property can be subdivided into.
That's right. So right now, the NHD is building right across the island. We have 1,200 units coming up in St. James. And that's in an area we call the estuary. It has great views of the Caribbean Sea and such things. There is going to be a development in St. Elizabeth. We call it Friendship, and it's really, really nice. It's lots. And right across the island, we have a number of developments coming. Another one I'm very excited about is Calbeck Castle, and that promises to produce in excess of 2,000 solutions. And you want to be in a position where when these solutions are available for sale, you can make an application. So I encourage you, those among you who want to become voluntary contributors, call me. Call Kamisha. My phone number is 876-807-3140. And Kamisha's number is 876-829-0187. You can WhatsApp us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And my dear host, is my time over, or do I have a few more minutes?
Well, your time expired a few minutes ago, but this is interesting. How many more minutes are you requesting?
Natalie, okay. Natalie, I don't know if you touched on the important documents that they would have to have should they decide to become a voluntary contributor. The NIS.
Yes, I did. I did. So they're not exhausted. I think they're also the customer information file form and the indemnity form. So if you do want to become voluntary contributors, text Kamisha, text myself, and we'll give you all the information. There are so many good things. You ever said there is a gospel of the National Housing Trust. We cannot tell you everything and all the benefits in this one go. So I invite you, let's continue the conversation. Thank you by WhatsApping Kamisha and or myself, and we will be happy to share with you all of the other goodies. Thank you very, very much for this invitation, and we wish you all the best.
Listen, we thank you. We thank you.
So the number is 876. Someone was asking for us to repeat the number. Kamisha, can you put it in the group, please?
I'm going to post it in the chat. Okay? Right, just post it in the chat. But guys, don't forget, it doesn't matter if you missed something, if you missed some amount of communication or contact today. IDS is here for you to rescue like a ninja jump off a wall. They are here to rescue you. Do not worry. All right. But that was amazing. That was great news, because so many Jamaicans just want to own. They just want to say, listen, I have my own house, you know. I own my house. I own my place. Growing up, it was you own your dresser, you own your bed. Now it's time to say you own your house. All right. So we thank you. We have a few quick questions. One of them is, Here we go. I paid NHT contributions from 1979 to 1992 when I migrated. Am I eligible for any refunds? Can I reactivate payments and qualify for house construction benefits? If so, how?
Okay, a bunch of things. So please, I encourage that person, call WhatsApp 876-807-3140, because there are other questions I'd have to ask. I want to take your NIS number and your TRN and your full name, and we can check our system to see what is actually there. And we'll even help you put on your contribution refund application so that you can get your funds and feel nice. And about qualifying for a construction loan, we can talk about your starting to contribute again. I'm glad that you have that whole heap of years of contributions already. So when you do start contributing, it will take, say, like for example, it's May, you can register in May. Next year, April, you will be eligible. We can talk about your construction loan. So let's have a plan. You start contributing this month, May, and we take it to next year. You're contributing for a year, and then we start on your construction loan application.
Thank you. I'm seeing so many questions popping in. Nordia, I hope you guys are ready. I hope you are prepared, because these persons have a lot of questions, many questions.
Ready.
You'll be making many treks to, assist these persons. We have a few more questions. One of them, I'm not sure to whom I should direct this, but it says, in Europe, documents are not notarized. Can you give us a list of persons or agencies that can notarize these documents? It said in Europe, though. I have never made an NHT contribution. Will definitely register now. But I do technically own a house in Jamaica. I did not purchase it myself, but I am listed as owner. Will I still qualify for an open market loan from the NHT?
Amisha, take that one.
Once your name is on a registered certificate of title, you will not be able to access the non-homeowners loan. You're going to get a homeowners loan, which is a maximum of 2.5 million. And you can use that 2.5 million to assist you with the purchase of a home. But you would not be able to get the 6.5 million because you already own a home. So once there's a title, and I'm stressing title, and your name is on the title, you are deemed a homeowner. Yes.
Hey. So you can't just say my house that because your father dead and nobody else not there, and it's
right, and it automatically it's yours.
Not automatic. There has to be document.
Ownership, yes.
There has to be document.
Right.
All right. I have another quick question. It says, I am in France. My mom, 64 years old, is in Jamaica. I contributed for a short time, less than a year. Can her NHD points be transferred to me?
Your mom is 64. She has 1 year to access a benefit because we lend between the ages of 18 and 65. Unless she's currently contributing, no one can access a benefit and would get up to 870 to repay the loan. The mom would not be able to assist you. The only other way is where you have a scheme benefit and you use your mom's points. So she's not getting a loan, she's not getting a benefit, but she's assigning her points to increase the likelihood of selection. Outside of those two scenarios, no, she wouldn't be able to assist. But she must be now working and contributing, able to access the benefit, can co-apply before she gets to her 65th birthday.
Okay. Thank you very much. There's a question about how to get an NIS number. I'm not sure.
You need your birth certificate, a copy of a ID, and I don't think they take the TRN. Yes, they do need a TRN, a copy of the TRN ID and birth certificate, and the Ministry of Labor and Social Security would generate a NIS number if one does not exist already on their system.
Okay.
So what that person can do, that person, Renee, text us, and we can give the person further information as to how to get the NIS number.
Right.
Excellent. And there's another question. Boy, them love the NHT. Boy, them love NHT. What? Are there loans for house renovations?
We do a home improvement loan, and that's 2.5 million. So if you already own property in Jamaica and you want to improve, you can access your home improvement loan. Again, we ask a lot of questions before we give an answer. So persons who really want to know, you need to WhatsApp or call us, because we're going to be asking you a lot of questions to ensure that we're giving you the correct information.
Okay. Another one. I'm wrapping up now. I promise you, I'm wrapping up. Is there an upper age limit to start or continue contributing? And what is the upper age limit to apply for a loan?
Well, there's no upper age limit, but the ages between which you can access a benefit, you have to be between the ages of 18 and 65 years old, right? You must come before you are 65. And you cannot start before you are 18.
Okay.
Yes.
They're asking to put the WhatsApp number in the chat. Someone is asking. Right. All right. Another question quickly. Good day. Please advise, can you voluntarily contribute more or less than 3%?
You just need to contribute what is required under the law, which is 3% of whatever your monthly income. All right? You don't need to give any more, and of course we can't take less.
All right. So I'm seeing you putting the number in the group again. Thank you so much. And I'm sure even if we miss something, IDS is there. And you know what? When you sign up, when you register with the Jamaican Diaspora of France, and then because we connect with IDS, because they connect with these people, it's just one big bridge that we're just sending all across the world. So don't worry. Once you're online today, just leave your information in the chat. Someone will reach out to you, an email, a WhatsApp number, phone number. We also have our information, and trust me, you will not be left out in the cold. You will own the piece of rock. You will get the cluster. All 18 of you can get the cluster. All right? So Natalie, I want to thank you so much once again, and your team member, for being with us today. You know, for putting so many questions that we might have to rest. You know, for us to understand that we might be far, but it's not far-fetched. That things are achievable. It can be done, was my motto when I was in college school in some city. It can be done. Everything is possible. All right? So I just want to thank you once again as we make this bold step, as we have this collaborative effort, and to really understand that we are one. Jamaicans, we are one, and we are stronger and better when we come together. So this is one more effort in us coming together and making it work as we impact not just our generation, but generations to come. So we're getting ready for a presentation from the RGD, but in between time, you might want to grab a little suck or a little syrup and lime or something. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes for you to do that quickly as we get ready for our next presenter. Let us smile, Jamaica.
Girl this morning, and she was beauty to my eyes. I asked her where she from, she tell me in the topics. She asked me what's my name, I tell her I am Connie. And I said, girl, tell me what's your name, and she tell me that her name is Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile, smile for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile. Smile for me, for me, Jamaica, Lord. Hey, she have a rich history, a beautiful woman with the sweetest gifts. Beautiful sunrise and an evening kiss of a nice sunset on the evening season. But she tell me, say she tired of the exploit and the liars. She give them reggae, give them beaches, give them flowers and the ferns. All she got is abuse in return. But I say, don't you worry yourself, mama. Hey, Chronix is here to your help, mama. Ooh, I said, no worry yourself, mommy. One thing me, I beg you do for me. And I say, smile, girl, smile. Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, girl, smile. Hey, smile for me, Jamaica. Never you cry, here am I. Girl, I'm here for you, Jamaica. What must I try? Oh my, that she asks me. And this how me say, a sweet, sweet Chronix, you fi give them. The one drop beat pan a rhythm. Are you give them bob with a different stepping? Are you give them bolt, nobody can run left him, boy. But see ya, them must see things say you're out of ideas. You give them art and sweet literature. You gonna make the world see the better picture. I said no worry yourself, mama. Chronix is here to your help, mama. Hey, I said no worry yourself, mommy. One thing me I beg you do. And I said smile, yeah, smile, boy. Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said smile, girl, smile, ba 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 ba. For me, Jamaica. Never you cry, here am I, whoa. For me, Jamaica. And I said smile, boy.
Wasn't that just lovely? I hope you are refreshed. Some people still missing them. Look like them still in the fridge. What we've got to keep rolling. Let me ring the bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling for everyone to come back. All right. So, I mean, I believe today is just such an amazing day. So much information, so many questions we had that, you know, would have been addressed today. And, you know, actually, I believe that today is a day of a new glimmer of hope, where those of us who believe that things were impossible to get done will realize that they are just a fingertip away. And especially during this pandemic, we understand that virtual is really the way to go. You don't have to stand in the long lines. Our government or institutions in Jamaica have made a lot of improvement to have things at our access. I understand, listen, if you're looking for this big property and NHT money alone can't cover the cluster or whatever, I understand that not just France and Belgium and Luxembourg and America and Jamaica online, I understand that Canada is also represented today. I understand that Emile Spence from Jamaica National Canada is also online with us as well today. So we'd like to extend a very warm Jamaican welcome to you and let them know that if you don't have enough money from NHT, JN is also there to back you up. All right, so refreshments in, everything done, we're ready now. So you've gotten the passport, you know, you've gotten the idea to get the land, but you want to add your title, but you realize that your mother spelled your name wrong. You realize your birth paper wasn't correct. Something was wrong somewhere along the line. Listen, we've not left you hanging. Our third presenter from an institution today who will just cut it off and tie everything into one tight bundle. From the Registrar General Department, the Marketing and Planning Manager is here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Nicole. who will address all the questions, all the concerns that you have, everything concerning your General's Department. Ladies and gentlemen, please make her welcome. I don't know, I get a feeling so between PICA, NHT, a lot of things are going on here today, but I want to ask a few questions because we have some little giveaways, we have some excitement. If you're in France, and I might be a little bit biased today because, I represent the Jamaican diaspora in France, but we have some gifts over there in France that we would love to give away, right? So I'm going to ask a question. So get your fingers ready. You would have to post the response now in the chat room, okay? You have to post the response in the chat room. What was the first item on our agenda today? Nobody never reached school early. What was the first item? Let me see.
Are we eligible from JaDiF?
No, you're not eligible from JaDiF because you would have had a copy of the agenda. What was the first item on the agenda today? Let me see. PICA, wrong. The first item, not the first presenter, the first item. We have some Jamaican souvenirs, some little bags, some little, little pencils with a rasta hair and stuff. We have Monique, where are you from? Monique said the national anthem, and you are correct. Monique, where are you from? You're from Germany. And I'm sure it was quite pleasing to hear our anthem played today. So I'm going to ask our team to reach out to you, Monique, or we ask you to send us your contact that you may collect your prize from us, because listen, you don't just come on. If you were in Jamaica, I would have given away some credit from one of these companies, but you're not here and it will be useless and pointless, right? But let me ask another question. How many persons, and this is for another prize, if you're in Europe, how many persons, what's the maximum number of persons who can combine to access a loan in the National Housing Trust cluster arrangement? The first person to answer will get the prize. 18. So quick. I don't think that Fatima is qualified at all,
No, I would make a riot if she won.
I'm sorry?
No, I would make a riot if she won.
I know you would.
I tried.
I'm sorry. But listen, we have some good news. So we gave away 2 prizes. I believe there was somebody else. Who was the second person to comment? That was Tamara Gordon. So Tamara, you would have been the other winner today on our presentation on this webinar, right? And I understand that they've fried the gate and they've freed up. I won't say pirate, right? But
I'm not sure if I qualify.
You're not qualified. We're ready now for the presentation from the RGD. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Ms. Nicole Whyte from the Marketing and Planning Department. Open your hearts and open your ears.
You're not ready. Yes, I'm sorry about that. All right. Apologies for the delay. I would like to say thank you for inviting the RGD to present at this another virtual forum to the diaspora, to the Jamaicans in the diaspora. And I also want to say greetings on behalf of our CEO, Mr. Charlton McFarlane. So let me try to share screen It's saying the host disabled my sharing screen. I don't know if you could allow me to share screen. I try again. Okay, is everybody seeing the screen? Yeah. I'm not hearing.
Yes, we are seeing the screen. I'm seeing the screen, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
But before you continue, we're just asking everyone to mute their microphones, please.
So I can go ahead?
Yes, you may proceed, yes.
Okay. All right, so the RGD, I'm going to start off by sharing the mandate. Our mandate is we're the government agency that is responsible for the registration of all deaths, births, adoptions, stillbirths, and marriages that occur in Jamaica and in the waters surrounding Jamaica. We support demographic planning by the government by providing timely statistics and analysis categorized according to international standards. So we send this information to Statin. So all the deaths, births, all the vital events that take place, we have to collate it at the end of the year and provide this information to Statin. And they use it to assist them to plan adequately for the country. So they know based on the births and where they have taken place, where they need to build schools, if they need to build additional hospitals, that kind of thing. And they are able to analyze to see the cause of death, what,
I believe she's experiencing some technical challenges. Just one moment. I do believe she's experiencing some technical challenges. It is a little bit rough at this time with all the demands on the Wi-Fi in Jamaica. It is a real challenging time. However, in the meantime, until things pop back up on screen with her, I'd just like to advise you of some upcoming events. Are you hearing me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Hearing you, Ren.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let me just advise you of some upcoming events. All right, so this was the first in a series of many, many more events to come. So you know all that we handled today. On June 10th, IDS and JaDiF will do a second event, and the focus for this event will be on real estate. Yes, you see, this rock thing is a serious thing, you know. So we'll be focusing on real estate. So we will have the bankers in, we will have the attorneys in, we will have all the different persons who would play a role now in you acquiring this property. So understand that we're taking you through the steps. We're doing it chronologically. It's very scientific. So it will make a lot of sense to you. All right. So that's June 10th. That's a collaborative event again. On June 25th, we will be hosting the Jamaican Diaspora en France. We'll be hosting another Fiwi language second edition competition where people dress up like Miss Lou and they come in and they try to speak and read the poems from Miss Lou or whoever we choose. And they come in their outfits and they speak and they go on, and we give away some really, really cool prizes. So look out for that, June 25th. June 27th If you're in Paris, if you're in Nanterre, that's where the hike will be. Jamaican Diaspora en France will be doing a hike. So put your shoes on, pack your knapsack, put on your water boots, or your sneakers, anything you choose to wear for this hike. July 27th, for the first time in Nanterre, the Jamaican Diaspora en France will present a reggae concert. So wherever you are close to France, even if you're not in Paris and you just decide that, listen, I've been locked in long enough, I must make this trek, there will be a reggae concert in Nanterre in Paris. September 4th, Fluid Language, 3rd edition. More excitement, more things to come. So get your tongue ready, get your paper ready, get your hands ready, your costume, more excitement to come. All right, so that's September 4th. And in this one, we will be allowing children. And for the first time, I am sure probably anywhere in the world, we will be doing sign to patois. That is going to be interesting. I thought Easter when they had the Jesus story and the crucifixion in patois, that was hilarious. But I can't wait to see them signing in patois. This one is a must see. All right, so there'll be lots of prizes and surprises, lots of giveaways. And then now, on December 18th, JaDiF will have a Christmas gala. So me make up my mind already, you know. Me, I can get a little John Kuno team together because this will not miss me. John Kuno, we're gonna get the little bird Fifi. You remember that little bird they used to blow the whistle and the water in? I want to bring back the old-time Jamaica, old-time Jamaican Christmas. So I really, really want to be in Paris for this event on December 18th. And remember, nothing is etched in stones. Anything and everything can change at this time because the world itself is changing. But guess what? We will still plan because really and truly, if you fail to plan, it means you plan to fail. So we ask you to stay with us, the Integrated Diaspora, stay with us, JaDiF, stay with us as we continue to get these events going. All right, at this time, I'm going to check again to make sure that our presenter is okay to present. So give us another minute, another break in transmission. Are you ready? Okay, so I understand that Desmond is on and he will be continuing the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Registrar General Department. Desmond, are you ready?
The mic Desmond, we can't hear you.
While she's trying to come on, can we ask a question?
Someone was asking if they could ask a question.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Yeah, since we're waiting
Okay.
for the briefer to come back online, can we ask questions while we wait?
The questions will be directed to which department, or is it a general question to IDS? Sure.
Yes, it's for IDS. It's something you mentioned earlier, which literally I started like smiling because I'm going to hope that my work schedule allows me to listen in for that June 10th discussion that you brought up, because as a Jamaican living in the US, like building back home is like a significant thing, but the process through the banks and finding reputable construction folks who don't rip you off because you live abroad and they know you don't fully understand things. So if something costs just, I'm just saying as an example, like $10,000, they'll tell you it's like 20 and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, I'm looking forward to that discussion just to hear how you guys plan through IDS to kind of streamline things and make it less cumbersome for those who live abroad, who are not there to see what's happening, or just get better understanding with the loan process to get a mortgage loan, to build on property you already have, or if you're trying to buy a property that's beyond the amount that National Housing Trust offers, like other entities that you can go to, but more importantly, just reputable construction entities or companies where you can truly trust and rely that they're going to do what they say and in a timely manner and get feedback and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. So I hope I'm not bogged down with work and I can listen in.
Hello, is anybody hearing me?
Yes, we
Yes.
I'm sorry about the technological challenges that I'm experiencing. Apologies. I don't know what has happened, but suddenly in the middle of the presentation, as you can see, I just got disconnected. So I'm actually joining from my phone. So I'm not able to share the screen since I'm now joining from my phone. So I'm just gonna speak to, just go through the presentation nonetheless. Right, so I was at the point of saying that we are responsible for the safety of all public records, including apps. Just giving a little historical background, we implemented computer-generated certificates in 2001, and this was in an effort to maintain the integrity of the operations of the RG. These certificates, the paper that I had shown you before we got disconnected, they have security features embedded in the paper, and so it makes it a little difficult for persons try to imitate and produce false certificates. Just giving a historical background on the agency itself, we were designated a type agency in 2007, and that means that we're fully funded, self-funded, sorry. Our vision is the capturing of all life events occurring within the boundaries of Jamaica and the safety of record. And our vision statement is every life event registered and every record kept safe. We implemented something called bedside registration in 2007, and that is where we go into all birthing institutions and register births at the bedside, at the mother's bedside. And that has helped us to increase our, in terms of coverage of birth registration. That has helped us tremendously with that. So with the mothers no longer have to find their way to our offices unless it's a home birth, but we go into all public and private hospitals and registered birth. Okay. I'm going to go into some of the services that we currently offer. We We offer genealogical research, which tends to be a service that the persons in the diaspora are interested in, where you're able to discover your root, trace your origin. It's a service that you pay $1,500 per hour, and we do, because all the events are registered with the RGD, so we have all the records there. We're able to put on our records go back to the 1600s. We're able to plot a family tree. So you can complete our application form. It's on our website. It is rgd.gov.jm, and you give us as much information as you have about, you know, your parents, their parents, uncles, cousins, so on, siblings, and or you know, whatever it is you have, we're able to use that to expand on that and to go further back. And you pay, as I said, per hour. We recommend a minimum of 3 hours, but if you want a very comprehensive research, a 10-hour research is a good number of hours to pay for. So we encourage you to visit our website and to apply online and pay online for that service. So you can trace your roots, see who you're related to, where your family originated from, and that kind of thing. We also have another service where you can pay for a no impediment certificate, and that is a person who are planning to get married and they want to check to see if the person that they're getting married to is in fact truly available to be married and would not be committing bigamy. You can pay for a no impediment search to do that confirmation. And with regards to the genealogical research, we were able to, as I said, process family tree, and we also can do the research the record if it was not added at birth. We also have a correction of error service that we offer for persons who might have errors on their birth certificates that they need to have corrected. And re-registration is another service we offer. So if it is that a couple had a child, but they weren't married when they had a child, but they subsequently got married, they can do a re-registration, and so the father's particulars will be added to the birth record, reflecting, you know, that he's the father.
Nicole,
Yes?
excuse me, it's on the screen, so you can just guide us as to where you want to go. So it's been showcased on this. Yes, we're showing it for you.
I don't know where you are. I'm at slide 18. If you can come to that, has record of 18. I'm not seeing the screen because I'm
So
using
we're
my
at
phone.
we're going to slide 18 with you.
Okay, I'm seeing it now.
Right.
Wait, no, that's not slide 18. Can you go to the next 2 slides below? The one that has re-registration. Oh, no.
18.
No, man, forget about 18. So continue. 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 It looks like you're going backwards to the beginning. Yeah, you're going backwards. Continue. Continue.
Okay, so we're at services offered. The addition
Right.
of father's
Right.
particulars.
So we had passed that. Can you
Right.
continue?
So we're continuing. We're going a little bit on.
Yes.
But I didn't know that the RGD did all these things. Family tree, I don't even know half of my family and where they are. So this is amazing. This is really excellent. Yes. So where are we now?
Ooh, seem like you're going back to the beginning again.
Gone back to the beginning. But you
Yeah.
know what?
I
You
think
know
I should
what?
just continue. Let me just continue.
What slide
Right.
number are you on? What slide number is she
So
on?
I have a printed copy with me and it's saying 18, but then when you go to 18, I'm not seeing the same thing on the screen. So
What is
I don't
on?
know.
Okay, what is on yours?
The heading, my heading is it's saying record updating, and then in bold below that it has re-registration.
Okay.
So we're at registry of weddings.
No, ma'am, we're past that. We spoke to that.
So what I think maybe we should do then, in the interest
So
of
I'll just continue
just
speaking.
continue, just proceed,
Right.
keep
Okay,
talking,
so
and then the questions we will address them through IDS and stuff. You know, it's not
okay.
a big deal. Like
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the other service. It's the late entry of name, and that is it allows someone to add some persons when they're registered. It tends to be for older persons, not in recent times. They're either not given a name or they're not given a surname, especially for persons who were born in the 50s, when if you had a child out of wedlock, you were not given the surname. You're not given a surname. For those persons on our record now, they don't have a surname, or some persons you just have the gender, the sex, and there's no name. So those persons need to do a late entry of name to add the name to the record, because we're not able to generate certificates with partial names or no name at all. Okay. Then we have a late registration service, which is a service where you do have persons who, for one reason or another, they were not registered. And so we offer this service where they can come in once the birth or death is not registered 1 year after it occurred. That is classified as a late registration. So you'd have to come into one of our offices and do a late registration. We currently have added some services online, so persons are able to do the additional father's particulars online, the late entry of name, and the correction of error. When I say online, I mean on our website. So you can actually go on our website, which is rgd.gov.jn, download the application form, complete it, and get the supporting documents, get them notarized, signed, and upload them on the website, and then you pay on the website. And this is in addition to where you can just make the regular birth applications on our website. You can apply for your birth death and marriage application certificate, on our website. And we also have a web chat on our website, which you can go online and speak to our reps online, real time. It's Monday to Fridays from 8:30 until 4. You are able to do that. Okay, so I just want to remind persons of the importance of a birth certificate. It is legal proof of identity, and it has far-reaching benefits for employment. Persons usually need it to get a job, need it to get to school, you need it for education, you need it for social inclusion and safety benefits. So for example, pension, you need it to access the pension, you need it to, in Jamaica, we have something called PATH, where persons need it to access PATH. It tells you who you are, where and when you were born, and to whom you were born. And it is also needed for accessing health and life insurance. We need it to access a driver's license, passport. We need it when you're getting married, you have to produce a birth certificate. And so we really encourage persons to ensure that they have a birth certificate and that they have the current birth certificate if you want generated and printed on the computer security paper. You're able to send, if you don't want to transact with it online, because we accept the credit card payment online on our website, you can send international money order to our, by post to our office. To transact business. You can call us at 876-619-1260 or you can email us at information@rgd.gov.jm. You can reach us on our social media platforms. We have a Facebook page, which is rgdjamaica.com. We have a Twitter and Instagram page is rgd_Jamaica. And we have our web chat, which is on rgd.gov.jm, our website. And I think I said you can email us at information@rgd.gov.jm. So that's the end of my presentation. As I say, apologies again for the technical difficulties. I hope it was informative and that you got information that you didn't know. I know one person said she didn't know about the phenological research service that we offer. You can go on our website and read upon it and apply online and pay online for it. And so you're able to trace your roots and see who you're related to and contact them. I don't know if you have any more questions.
We got a few questions. We just want to thank you so much with all the challenges that you pushed through, you know.
Yes.
We just really, and that's who we are as a people. We fight through and we work through stuff, right? So we just really want to thank you. Also thank Desmond also for pitching in and the rest of the team, you know, for making it work. I have a few questions. I think probably just 2 questions. Let's ask about babies born overseas. How are they registered?
Okay, so in order for you to be registered in Jamaica, you would have to be born in Jamaica or the waters surrounding Jamaica. So if you're not born in Jamaica, then you would be able to be registered in Jamaica, but you could be naturalized through PICA. But Mr. Davis, I don't know if you want to jump in here.
Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you. Yes,
Yeah,
we're hearing you.
okay, right. So good afternoon, everybody. Well, I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's afternoon where I am. Okay. So as Mrs. Whyte would have stated, in order for you to get a birth certificate or a Jamaican birth certificate, you must be born in Jamaica or in Jamaican waters. However, persons who are born outside of Jamaica of Jamaican descent can be naturalized. And this naturalization would go through PICA. Of course, you'd have to prove the naturalization. And again, the naturalization proof would have to be in relation to, I mean, your parentage and their birth certificate. So anyway you take it, you will need a birth certificate to show all of that and to show the linkages.
Okay, I hope that answers that question.
Yes, I'm sure it does.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis.
Welcome.
1 second, just 1 second. Well, I believe this segment was very, very informative. There are not very many questions for the RGD, and I'm sure, and I believe a lot of it has to do too with the fact that your information is readily available online.
Yes,
but just to let everyone know, irrespective of what happens, whether you can't get through to the RGD, to PICA, through to NHT, Integrated Diaspora Services is here for you. All right. The information, the contact information is in the chat. Just leave your email, leave your phone number for someone to contact you. I just want to thank you again, the team from RGD, for, as I said, sticking through this very challenging presentation today. You know, the resilience of us as a people truly was portrayed today. So thank you so much for giving us this information today. All right. And
okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Yes. As we wrap things, well, somebody's asking one more question. How do I get someone who disappeared years ago to be declared dead and registered as such?
Mr. Davis?
For something like that, the RGD would be at the back end of that, because that would have been a court issue. So a person would be would get an attorney, and that would be taken to the court. Then the court would produce a document declaring a person dead, and from the document that the court sends to us, then we would do the registration for that death. So it doesn't begin with us; it ends with us. As in receiving the order from the court, just like when we have sudden violent or accidental death, those would go to the coroner, and the coroner would rule on that case, and then they would give us what is known as either a Form E or a Form E, dependent upon the stage of that case, and we would use what the judge would have sent to us to have those registrations done. So it would be the same kind of situation.
Okay, I'm sure that answered the question as well. So once again, thank you so much. And I see the email, the information being put in our chat, so you can do your follow-up, so everything can be tied in. Guys, guess what? We've come to the end. Oh, you're supposed to say, we've come to the end of today. Unfortunately, I felt like I would hang out with you all day. Right? And I just want to quickly just remind everybody, today was intentional. Today was collaboration. Today was Jamaicans coming together from every part of the world to make this happen for Jamaicans. We are Jamaicans working together for Jamaicans, not just for us, but also for generations. All right. So I just want to thank you so much for being online with us today. And remember, whether it is that you need your passport done, whether you need somebody naturalized, whether you need to check your family tree. Listen, all sometimes we hear is Bertie did have 2 children, but one was a jacket and the next one wasn't. And you don't know your family, you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're from. And that is why sometimes we're so challenged to know where we're going. We don't understand our traits, we don't understand how rich our heritage is. So the RGD is there. And remember to own the plot of land. I believe there's a moment in your last moments of life where you stop and say, you know what, I am at peace. Because this bill is paid, that bill, there has to be a moment. Don't tell me there isn't. That is paid. I left 2 pieces of land. I left something. There has to be a peace that comes with that, knowing that you've made another generation better. So the NHT is there. We have bankers online. We have so many resourceful persons online who can assist us to get the things that we really want in life. Remember, Mr. Gerard Smith told us, register with your embassy in your country where you are. Don't wait for trouble. Don't wait for a tsunami and then when you're running, you're trying to find the embassy, right? Do it now. Be prepared. It's better to be prepared than to have to be running when trouble comes, right? And I want to thank all our presenters today who did such a fantastic job. And for you, the audience, you're so interactive. The questions that came, you stayed with us. There are a few persons, I believe Kate and there was one other person had to leave us a little early. But the interaction, the information, we just want to thank you. And at this point in time, I am